This podcast is sponsored by the following sponsors. The Real Real. Buy and sell luxury clothing, bags, and more on The Real Real. Get $25 off your first purchase when you go to therealreal.com/happy. Shopify, the e-commerce platform I trust for Glossy. Sign up for your $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/happy. Get more when you start your business with Northwest Registered Agent. Your entire business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/earn. Airbnb. Start making money by listing your home on Airbnb with the support of an experienced co-host. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/host. Get Notion mail for free right now at notion.com/earn and try the inbox that thinks like you. That's all lowercase letters. Notion.com/earn to get Notion mail for free right now.
You've already met someone who can make you $1 million. You've already met the person who can give you a 7-figure deal, open a 7-figure door, be a 7-figure client. The whole difference is that some people met them and followed up with them. That's it. That's why I'm sitting here.
Okay, well, this person, it is no secret. Like, if you listen to my podcast at all, you know that Brendon Burchard, who is in the house today, is like one of my biggest mentors and one of the top people, maybe the top person that I want to emulate as being as a human being. And it makes me want to cry because he treats every single person that he meets like you are the most important person in the room. And somehow, this man, who is involved in more things than I can possibly say and count, somehow makes his relationships a huge priority. Like, we'll get random texts that just say, how you doing? How can I help? I'm like, help yourself. What do you need? And it's the most selfless, loving, caring. The reason that he is in this room is because if we can just learn from how he is, I promise you that is why all the good things that happen in Brendon's life is because of who he is, the energy he puts out and what he believes. And we got to hear him once speak at Lewis Howe's Mastermind a long time ago. And I loved him before this. We had read his Millionaire Messenger book was one of the first books that really shifted our life and our business. And I think that was 2011, that book came out, and we were going online, and Chris was like, you got to listen to this guy. I'm like, who's this guy? I don't know. He has this whiteboard. Who knows? Always by this whiteboard. But it helped us with all of our, I don't know if you guys go way back, but we used to do online fitness challenges all the time, and they eventually became really successful, and a lot of that was because we followed a lot of what Brendon had taught. So we go way, way back, but one of the biggest things about Brendon is just what energy he chooses and brings in the room. Because I know this man is busy, but somehow he always shifts and decides how he wants to show up. So there's so many things that I can say, but I'm also going to read some stuff here too, because he's just, when the bio gets real long, so we're just going to do some quick ones here. So he's a 3-time New York Times best-selling author, but he also has multiple books. He's globally respected high-performance coach, one of the world's most watched, most followed, and most quoted personal development trainers. That's all from my podcast, by the way. And 10 million followers across his brands. O from Oprah magazine named him one of the most influential leaders in personal growth, and Success magazine ranks him in the top 25 most influential success teachers, along with Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phil, and Tony Robbins, and he is the founder of Growth Day, and yes, clap for that. So I just want to talk about Growth Day real quick for a sec. You guys have a QR code on your table, and you also get a trial to Growth Day there, but Growth Day has been one of the most impactful experiences of my life. You have to go and check it out. And Brendon, please come up to the stage.
Come on up, buddy. Give him a huge round of applause.
Nice seeing y'all.
What's so funny about I know, how do you feel? We like to feel big, so we get little chairs. So
great. What a beautiful space this is.
I know.
Y'all are holding great energy up in here, too. Thank you for having me.
They're the best people, and this is we're so excited to have you. And I know that this stage probably felt really small for you, because here's the deal. His body, I could feel him I need to jump across the stage right now. He didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. I usually, if you haven't seen me, I do a lot of arena tours, and when you do them, it's 68 to 99 feet long, and I come out to the song, and I got to cover that spread, and I got 90 seconds up there on this beat that I have to hit, and I can't hit a beat for the life of me. So I'm already trying to get the clap beat thing, but I got to get all the way over there to that side, and then over this side, and then catch your breath after all the dancing to talk to the people. So quick speed tip for all the speakers in the room. If you ever do dance and clap and you got to catch your breath, the first thing that you do is, that's why you always see the big speakers always say, okay. And when they come on, they say, now give 3 high fives and have a seat. You know what the reason they do that? Because they're like, and they go, give 3 high fives and have a seat. And they go like, it's just a secret for those who ever lose their breath on stage.
I literally spoke at your event and got so hopped up because of his energy that I was like, yeah, and then I was dancing, then I'm like, okay, let's take a beat.
It is harder than it looks.
It really
Didn't
is.
you kick your shoes off on stage?
Yeah.
And broke her necklace, all in the same
See,
speech.
anyone can do it, y'all. Anyone can do it. I kicked a shoe across the stage and then my necklace popped off all at your event.
So, first of all, thank you for being here. It means
Thanks,
the world. We meant what we said while you were standing back there awkwardly, as you said. I know it's weird to have somebody sit and say all these things, but you truly have been such a good friend and such an incredible supporter, and I just want to say thank you in front of everybody and have that moment to
Appreciate
do so.
you guys. You all are getting to spend time with not only two people who've been wildly successful, and they haven't had to do this, for a really long time. They do this because they actually love doing this. And to meet people who are so genuine and do the things that they still love and didn't get trapped into a million other things that they didn't love, it's a really special thing that they're doing here. I hope you guys appreciate it and love it too. Give a round of applause. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you. So,
And look so good doing it.
Oh,
Y'all.
she does.
These guys,
This crowd looks good. This crowd looks good.
Good looking crew.
So here's a question I want to start with. You literally wrote the book on high-performing habits. You did gobs of research on high performers, and you have probably the most high-performing network of anybody that I know. I mean, it includes Oprah, it includes Ed, it includes everybody. And there's probably nobody that you can't text right now. And I set it up that way to say, how has a high-performing network and learning how to cultivate and manage one played a specific role in your success?
Ooh, so good. Let me demonstrate. This might be a weird question. Anyone in here a 7-figure earner? Would you raise your hand? I know it might be awkward, but just give it a try.
Oh, they're proud. They're proud. Get them tall.
Okay. So,
get them high.
Keep it. Watch to answer the question. 7-figure earner. Everybody at this table gets to meet these two people. I'm from a town in Montana that had been economically depressed for 100 years. Like my parents working 2 full-time jobs between the two of them could barely afford to feed us 4 kids. And so that you can just go somewhere and you can meet people who are 7-figure earners who might have a network bigger than the town you grew up in. That's unbelievable. And for those who didn't raise your hand, I want to give you just an encouragement, but also a challenge. You've already met a multimillionaire. The difference, if you go to 74 more dinners, or 64 more seminars, or you DM 1,000 more people on Instagram seeking connection, is that some people met them and followed up with them. That's it. That's why I'm sitting here. See, I always tell all my entrepreneur friends, you've already met your next 7-figure client. You said again, you've already met someone who can make you $1 million. You've already met the person who can give you a 7-figure deal, open a 7-figure door, be a 7-figure client. The whole difference is that you choose to recognize that abundance in the world. And so to answer the question is, I realized I didn't know nobody. I was from Montana, I moved to California, and it was like this amazing opening of like, wow, look at all these people here. They're so nice, they're so tan, they all have money. I mean, it was just like this crazy new world for me. And I realized like, oh, there's people here who can help me. And once you have the humility to say that, there's people who can help me. It's like the law of attraction opens up the world, and all you got to do is be assertive enough to get it. And so I want everyone here to know that. I want it to stick so hard in your brain. If it sticks really hard, I hope we can even spur some guilt. Because some people need that. They need the edge. They need to go, damn it, I have met those people already. I didn't follow up with them. And I say that because I needed that. I needed someone to tell me in a seminar room I sat in one time, you already met somebody who could get you to become a millionaire. And I thought, what are you talking about? Because I was resistant to the idea. And then I realized, no, what I was resistant to was following up with people. And you know why it's the hardest thing to accept? Is because I was embarrassed to be seen starting small. You ever felt that? I was embarrassed that I was just starting out, so I didn't reach out. I was embarrassed that I was starting out, so I didn't reach out. And you know what? That happened when I hit 1 million too. It happened when I hit 10 million. It happened when I hit 20. It happened when I hit 30. All these levels I've hit, and I'm always still, hey, I heard you're making 50. Can I ask you an awkward question? I'm like, But some of you, you're not asking the question, and you're not following up enough. And so anytime I do something like this, the value of my network was first, the opportunity to come and do something like this. And then second, I would often take 2 days off after every conference, seminar, networking event I went to, and I would just message people and call people. And I did that for years. And now, like Chris said, I can kind of get to anybody, talk with anybody, do any deal that we want, and it's just created this incredible freedom and joy in my life. And then the other aspect of just getting to connect people. Oh, you know this person? You should know this person. You should know this person. And as you introduce more people, your network gets bigger. And so first, you start the network locally, I call it, which is you and another person. But the second you can start connecting people, this amazing multiplication or compound effect happens. And I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's how I got invited to meet the first president I ever worked with. It's how I got to meet the person who introduced me to the person who introduced me to Oprah. It's like connecting other people and expanding your network, because here's the other thing that I learned. If you're only expanding your network for you, you're always earning 10% of your potential. Once you start expanding your network for your network, now you're in a whole league that most people will never understand. Is that too much for the first?
No, this
Love
is
it. So
this is so good.
So good. Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. In fact, because as you can see, he just drops, wisdom after wisdom. What we would love is if you guys do a story, tag him and Growth Day for him. So that's like the biggest gift that we can do. And that would be amazing if you all did that. Okay, awesome. So next question I have for you, for people in the room right now who are coming in, and you kind of answered a bit of it, but if you were walking in this room, put yourself in their shoes, what would you be thinking about, and how would you be showing up?
So good. First, just come in with clean energy. I think the world has kind of lost what that means. We're like in I call it the selfie culture. The selfie culture, everything's about me, I need, my feelings. And when you're stuck there, that's not a clean energy, because it's a selfish energy. And a clean energy is a service energy, like being in service to other people, being so curious about other people. And listen, I'm preaching to the choir. You wouldn't even be here if you weren't curious about other people. I just want to remind you that we've got into a culture where everyone's trying to think, I need to get something from other people. And I was lucky I came up in personal development, like many of you all did too, studying the greats. The Napoleon Hills and the Earl Nightingales and the Dale Carnegies and the Zig Ziglars and the Jim Rohns and the Wayne Dyers. That was like what I came up with. And I remember Zig teaching that old phrase of, if you want to get what you want in life, help other people get what they want. And I always thought that was so brilliant. And I think it's biblical too, where it says, ask and you shall receive. And I would say the flip side of that in another quantum world is ask. Don't start with ask, start with receive. Be open to receiving help from other people. especially when you're embarrassed or you're in transition or you're starting or you don't know what to do or you failed on the last launch or you built the thing and it sucked or you quit the job and you're not getting clients. Often when we're embarrassed, we put on a facade. And we come to events like this and we're like, ha 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 ha, and you got your best shoes on and the belt that's too tight and you know the weird outfit that you're not even sure about, and you're just so in your head. And it's like that old saying we have it in Montana. I don't know if everyone else says this, but that old saying, there's two people in the world. One enters the room and says, "Here I am," and the other enters in the room and goes, "Oh, there you are." Be the "oh, there you are" person. Be the yeah, right? Be that person. And then amplify this at this event, but also when you go home. Sit down and draw out your big circle of influence, your closest family, friends, highest lifetime value clients, the highest networked people you know in your industry or your career. Just draw out a bunch of bubbles, put their names in it. And same with this group here, because these tables, those bubbles. And I just want to know, what's the number one thing you're working on? Well, no, what's the number one thing you're working on? What's most important to you right now? What do you need help with? Who do you want to meet? If I can serve those three things, I know I got a lifelong friend, and I know the value in my network is going to be amazing. It's three questions. What's the number one thing you're working on? What do you need help with? And who are you trying to meet? I stood in front of a group smaller than this, and I said, you know what? I'm a coach, and I would love to coach a president, but I've never met a president. Does anyone know a president? I literally asked that as a demonstration, and a lady goes, well, yeah, I'm on this foundation of this board, and he's speaking at one of our upcoming nonprofit fundraisers. And I was like, that's amazing. She was like, would you like to go? Now, who would go? Would you go? Yes, you never know. I had no idea that was going to happen. But by posing that question to so many people of who would you like to meet, but also you should be sharing that. Who do you want to meet? Who are you trying to get to know? Because in a networking space like this, that's such a safe question. It might be weird on the road, but here, like, who are you trying to meet? Oh, I'd like to meet this person, that person, that person. Oh, okay. Somebody here probably knows them. And I like Chris was sharing, it's like, hey, the answer is in the room, y'all. There's somebody here. That 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon thing is so real, right? He only lives a couple miles from here, but it's like, so you're in his zone. You're in the Kevin Bacon zone now. You didn't even know. You're like 6 miles from the guy. So I think it's just important. You just have to have that willingness to walk in the room, be so curious about other people, find out what they're working on, find out what they need help with, find out who they want to meet, and serve that. And I promise, after you do that for a decade, everyone in the industry is like, wow, how do you know everybody? You just cared enough to ask.
I want to kind of piggyback on the theme that you're already talking about, serve, serve, serve. A lot of times, and I've seen you do this quite often, you'll give and you'll give and you'll give with no direct ROI, no way to measure the ROI. For example, Beach Gang, bringing all of us up, gathering everybody, paying for all of that experience. There's no way to quite measure the ROI, yet you continue to do these types of things. Can you give an example of something where you can't necessarily directly measure the ROI, but you know it's made a huge impact in getting you to where you want to go, something that maybe they could emulate?
Yeah, I don't know how many people in the room have faith, but your ROI has been calculated. You're already good. Yeah. If you're a person of faith in this room, your ROI has been calculated, you're good. Every day's bonus day. The greatest blessing in my life was I had a car accident when I was 19. That was 28 years ago last week. So 28 years ago, I was in an accident. And getting the gift of life, and once you get that return on life happens every day. And I really feel like that's the big secret. Why are some people more generous than others? Is because they understand mortality motivation. Mortality motivation means you know life is short. And when you know life is short, And if you believe in a God, or you believe in the universe rewarding good action or behavior, or you just want to be a good person who's remembered by your family for good character, then you become more generous. And when you become more generous, it's funny, you don't really, your whole playing field changes. You don't think about ROI like Facebook ads guys do. I'm one of those, so don't worry. Anyone run their own ads? Anyone run some ads? Okay, I love you. I love you. So most people's ROI time frame is too short. They're playing an insanely short game. The shorter that ROI game goes, the more selfish and alone they are. It's philosophical. The longer you extend that ROI and understanding of, oh, I can do things for people, it might not come back for years. I mean, how long have we known each other? Years. And we finally get to do something today. Or when you spoke out on my stage. We knew each other for years. And neither of these two people ever asked that. Like, geez, what am I going to get out of Brendon? And I never asked, what am I going to get out of them? It's like, oh, you meet good humans, be great to them. Because every good human becomes great. And so I believe if you can just go, oh, I just need to be generous to more people around me and not worry so much. I think karma handles it. I think God handles it. I think law of attraction handles it. Whatever your philosophy or belief is, I don't care. I think it all handles it. So extend your ROI time frame, especially in relationships. Okay? Again, not a Facebook ads conversation, but definitely in relationships. And I think that's the main secret, is like, I'm just going to do things for people, and sometimes it will come back. I also think the ROI, and I hope you all sense that from these two, your ROI is called fun. That's your ROI. Everyone's like, why do you get these guys and Jay and Lewis and Jenna and Ed and Mel and Jay, why do you get them in front of the guy? I'm like, because that's going to be awesome. That's why I'm going to do it. Why do you pay for their dinner? Because going to dinner with them is going to be awesome. Why do you spend so much time and you do this whole, I'm like, because it's going to be awesome. So you find what's awesome and be generous within that to bring more people into that awesome field. And when you bring more people in the awesome field, your network of expansion happens. So I just want you, like, that's the secret to ROI, is do things you absolutely love, bring people into it. The ripple effect totally takes care of itself. Find what you love, bring more people into it. Let go of the need of selfishness. Just be generous in that field of awesome where you love to do things with, and just watch, right? It's like this, it's truly generative in the world, I believe. It's like you're sending out something. I'm not a big, energy, quantum field guy. I'm talking about that stuff, but some of you get that idea. And if you can find out what you really love and bring more people into it, you will be truly surprised. Look at all the great, broadcasters, teachers, people you follow, know, and like. They probably have a pretty incredible network. But their network didn't grow because necessarily of randomness. Their network grew because they brought people into their thing. Oprah's network grew because she brought people onto her show. She brought us onto her stage. She brought people into the things she was curious about. And I think when you do that, for me, it's personal development. I want to bring the whole world into personal development. Our mission at Growth Day, we always say in our team, in our company, is we want to make self-improvement a way of life for every person on the planet. Because if I can get you in dorking out personal development, mine or somebody else's, that ripple effect is going to be awesome. Who's learned something from personal development in this room from me in the last 10 years? Look around the room. Isn't that crazy? That was almost every table. And I'm from Montana. There's more wealth in this room than there was in the entire town I grew up in, I promise, and the next 10 towns. So it's like, that's amazing, right? So just teach what you love, or do what you love, bring more people into it.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how people are, you created Growth Day, and I see a ton of people connecting whenever I go in there and get to speak. How have you created connection within that app so that people can kind of network and grow together?
Especially at scale like that.
Yeah.
I think I screwed it up. It's really hard to create community. When I first started Growth Day, I wanted all the community to happen in the app. And it's because I started during the pandemic. So for those who don't know my career before that, I had done, at that point, probably nearing almost 100 4-day events in my career. Doesn't count our 2 days, doesn't count my keynotes, but 100 4-day events. Only Tony and I have ever done that. There's no one, I don't even think anyone's in their 80s. So, and this guy right here, by the way, Mel Abraham is in the house. I don't know if you know Mel, but Mel and I must have, he was at like 80 or 90 of them. So we had done a lot of events, and they were really recognized as some of the best 4-day events in the world. Then the pandemic hits, so shut it down. And I'd been thinking like, well, how am I gonna serve more people during this pandemic? And how am I gonna create these experiences that we used to do at the live events? I wanna bring them together, but I don't wanna be in a Zoom room. I wanna bring them together, and so we started listening to our customers. They'd always been asking for me to do an app. I'd never done an app. I invested and helped build up this company called Kajabi Kajabi members! Yeah! Some of you know that story. I was account number 10. And the only outside investor before we got, the big valuations and all the big money stuff came in. And 60% of the users came from me at one point. So I was really building that. And in that journey, I saw how hard software was. Like, I don't want to do that. You guys do that. And yet, then of the pandemic, that company became valued at $2 billion. So now I had a unicorn. And I had 10 years of seeing how they did product development. And I was like, I think I can do that. So we started asking, how do we wrap personal development into a product? And we looked at the research, and we started understanding, to do personal development, like the highest return on your investment there is journaling, daily goals, learning from mentors, taking courses, and being in person. So we kind of, at the beginning, flubbed on that. We didn't know what to do in the app for the community. We added the events back in after the pandemic, which had become a big thing in LA. And then we said, okay, well, let's start building some tools within the app where people can talk. So we invented this thing called growth groups, where you can go in Growth Day and you can start a room, kind of like you could in Clubhouse or kind of like you can do on Zoom. But when you go and you start a room, you can choose audio or video. And then we give templates to people to talk about personal development. Do you want to talk about confidence? Do you want to talk about leadership? Do you want to talk about goals? And then you can start a room and you can invite people into the room. And you can have these conversations within the app. And that was kind of the breakthrough is, people just want to talk about personal development. And I think we didn't do a great job yet of the user rollout of that because it was so hard to build. We basically built Zoom in the app. Like, you can imagine how hard that is. But it's awesome. And so now what she was referencing is on Wednesdays we go live, we bring the community in, and we're learning a lot about it. But I would love lots of advice on that because building community in an online world is very different than the way we've done it before.
Okay, if you're like me and your inbox is stressing you out and you need to spend less time there and more time in your business actually moving the needle, bringing money in, I'm about to change your life. Notion Mail is the inbox that thinks like you, automated, personalized, and flexible to finally work the way you work. With AI that learns what matters to you, it can organize your inbox, label messages, draft replies, and even schedule meetings. No manual sorting required. You guys, it has AI organized inbox. You can tell Notion AI what's important to you, and it's going to automatically label them and sort them so that they arrive in the way that you want. Custom views for focus. Split your inbox into custom views like topics, urgencies, senders, or what you want to do to stay distraction-free from those emails that you don't want to give your attention to. You can fly through emails with something called snippets. It's a one-click email template where you can do different intros, you can do follow-ups. This is perfect for my podcast, you guys, because I get over 30 inquiries in my inbox a day. So I can automate all of that. It can even include attachments and scheduling links. You can write beautiful emails faster. Get Notion Mail for free right now at notion.com/earn and try the inbox that thinks like you. That's all lowercase letters. Notion.com/earn to get Notion Mail for free right now. When you use our link, you're supporting our show, you guys. Notion.com/earn. When I first started Glossy, I was so overwhelmed. I felt like I had to do everything on my own because you do, and your to-do list just keeps mounting. But let me tell you, when you're starting off with something new, it just seems like that list is growing and growing and growing, and it can quickly overrun your life. So you have to start learning to find the right tools that can not only help you out, but simplify everything. And that is a game changer. And let me tell you, for millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify, and I am included in those numbers. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. And I'm going to add mine to the list, Glossy. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. And you guys, I love my website so much that's on Shopify. Go and check it out. Also, Shopify is your e-commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/happy. Go to shopify.com/happy, shopify.com/happy. The hardest part about starting a business is often getting started. Build your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Starting your business should be simple. Get more when you start your business with Northwest Registered Agent. Your entire business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping businesses launch and grow for nearly 30 years. If you want to build your business while keeping your personal information secure, Northwest is the partner you need. In just 10 clicks and 10 minutes, they'll form your business, create a custom website, and set up your local presence wherever you need it. Form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real business experts with decades of experience. Protect your identity and keep your home address private by using Northwest's address on your information documents. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and set up your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/earn and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at northwestregisteredagent.com/earn.
I'd say you've done an extraordinary job with it. Sticking with building community, how often should people be putting themselves in rooms like this? And I want to be crystal clear, this is not a thinly veiled, like, hey, make sure you come to the next one kind of thing. Because I'm actually a big believer that you should be mixing up the rooms that you're in order to keep building your community, not necessarily just recycling the same ones over and over. So if you woke up in their shoes, how often would you be putting yourself in some type of opportunistic room to meet other people like this?
Monthly, every month of your life. Yeah, every month of your life, unquestioned. I actually think, and here's my secret about this, and maybe it's not a secret. I think where I'm from, everybody did this, but I have not found it to be true in California, so gauge it for what you will. I think the greatest networking you'll ever do in your entire life will be volunteering. And we don't have a culture of volunteering anymore. And I think people just don't get it. Like, when you go join a volunteer organization in your hometown, guess who's on that board? The most successful people in your hometown. Who joins nonprofit boards? Rich people. Who joins nonprofit boards? Givers. Who joins nonprofit boards? Heart-driven, service-driven, humanity-centered human beings. And so I think if you really want to amplify it, volunteer once a month in anything in your home, in your hometown. You're like, these people are amazing. It's what I did when I moved to San Francisco from Montana. I was a Kiwanian. For those who don't know what Kiwanis is, it's a service organization. It's people get together once, maybe twice a month, have a breakfast, have a speaker. They go around the room, share what they're working on, and then they go volunteer. Paint a playground, build a house, try to raise some money for something. You guys know them as like Kiwanis clubs, same with Rotary or Lions clubs. Those were the old kind of style, but they still exist, and there's dozens more now. So I think once a month minimum, guarantee your networking by volunteering. Those would be the best people you ever meet. Then I think quarterly you should do something very significant like this, where it's like a purposeful conference, seminar, dinner. I love what we call this, the dinner series. It's like something like this every quarter, 4 times a year, significantly stretching your network. And many of you, here's the thing, you won't do that for yourself, but you'll do it for your network. So do it for your network. Some of you, who brought a spouse here? Would you raise your hand? Yeah, give these folks a round of applause. You're awesome. Yeah, see, drag your spouse to one of these things. Feed them the chicken, make them laugh a little bit, get them out and about, get them into the idea, because I just want to give a shout out to these. This is such a power couple. You don't even know what a power couple this couple is. I mean, it's amazing. Because individually, they both go do that kind of stuff. I see him at conferences, I see her at conferences, separately and sometimes together. It expands a universe of possibility for you that is so huge when you have your partner there, if you have one. And if you don't have a partner, what an awesome place to meet one. You come, you get all dressed up, often there's a bar located some nearby, or they got a health gym it's like, so quarterly you're prospecting, ladies and gentlemen.
Raise your hand if you're single, so just so everyone can look around.
Hey, where are my singles at?
All right.
Okay, we need some more men. Okay, I just realized that. Got it.
Yeah, I think, so that's me, my approach. Volunteer monthly, go to something purposeful quarterly, and you're gonna be astounded by, at the end of the year, you're like, I know everybody. It's really incredible.
Okay, so you truly are like one of the busiest people that we know. I can only imagine what that looks like. So how do you prioritize your relationships? Because there are so many people that I know that call you a really good friend, and I always see you doing different things with people. So can you tell us just a little bit about how that works, like with your schedule? Do you take set time every day to get back to people? Because he's also quick. It's crazy.
I think the absolute secret is I do less than you probably think.
We need to know about the secret.
Yeah. I'm a very simple person. I have been writing books, teaching on the internet, coaching people, or teaching events for 19 years. I do 4 things. It looks like a lot because sometimes around those 4 things, I built a little ecosystem, right? Different experts, advisors, companies, investments, all right. But those are 90% of the time, that's what I'm doing at work. The rest of my time, I'm with my wife or my family. So it's less than you think. One, I decided a long time ago, I'm not going to be a burnout person. I think if you're a burnout person, you have to one day have a little coming to Jesus moment and go, I'm causing that. Burnout people, ironically, they have so much agency, they're doing so much stuff, but burnout people also play the victim card all the time. You ever met burnouts? They're like, oh, I have so many emails, I have so much on, and they're always winded. I'm like, did you just run a couple laps? Why do you sound like that, babe? And it's like, no, burnout, there's no victim to that. You built that in, you said yes, you didn't set the boundaries, you took on too much, you failed to recognize what moves the needle. And sometimes someone just needs to go, you need to make a decision, you're not a burnout person anymore. I decided 15 years ago, I'm not a burnout person. I did that in my 20s. It sucks. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't get time with friends. I didn't get to enjoy life. And a lot of burnout people, they end up chasing so many things to try and get one thing, which is the lifestyle they wanted. And you all know that philosophy of beginning with the end in mind, Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Begin with the end in mind. What's the lifestyle you want? Start with that. Find what you really love. Make needle-moving focus around that. So for me, my simplicity is I schedule out the month, And as we schedule out the month, there's already sorts of things on the calendar that have been scheduled months before. And then I've got all these blocks of time, and that's when I do stuff. And I'm weird. For example, you cannot talk to me before 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Nobody. Like nobody. Doesn't matter. The biggest name clients, I coach 4 billionaires. None of them can call me. They can't get a hold. No one talks to me before 1 p.m. Because in the morning, I want to read, I want to write, I want to think through the day. I want to make sure, have you heard my philosophy, done by one? That's where that comes from. Done by one. All the major needle-moving activities of the day have happened by 1. I'm not crash landing into 5, into 8, into 9, into midnight. No, the most important things of the day happen by 1, done by 1. Now after 1, that's when I can get into your agenda. Now you and I can talk. If you're my team, now we can talk. If you're my friends, now we can talk. But by 1, I got the needle movers out of the way. So I never finish the day, oh, I forgot. You never see me panic today. I forgot them, oh my God. Nope, it's done by 1. That frees up the time to have the friendships, to block the time of the other projects, and really frees it up. The second thing I do is Fridays are reserved for friends and companies I invest in. So that's all I do on Friday. Usually, if we talk, it's usually a Friday, and that's important. And the second thing is you say, I see you doing all this with all these other people. If you actually look closely, they're all at my events. So what do I mean by that? It means, remember I said, find what you love and bring people in? So, oh my gosh, Brendon, you were at 2030. I'm like, no, they were at my things. I invited them to my things, and that's where we got the selfie. It's my places, my things, my events. So it looks like I'm out doing, no, I'm just doing my regular course of action. They happen to be backstage, take a picture. I'm doing my regular calls, and it looks like, oh, wow. But it's just very blocked and rhythmic, if you will. And that's also why I've got just good mental health, is my life is rhythmic. It's like, oh, he does this on Mondays, team calls. Tuesdays, reviews. Wednesdays, videos. Thursdays, open free call, 1 call with the CEO. Fridays is outside the company, friends, investments. Now, when I travel, that changes slightly, and I travel a lot. But still, the done by 1 theory is really important. If they had called me and said, Brendon, we need you at the Mayborn for our group at 9 a.m., I'd be like, gee, sorry. But notice what time this was that I came on. 2. I was like, hey, done by 1. And hey, ask your brother. What was I telling backstage? So I'm in a launch right now. I'm doing a launch right now as we're speaking. We did $1 million this week already. So, hey! And so that's what I was doing this morning. I got up, I worked out, I had a fancy breakfast. I sent 3 emails to the group in terms of the broadcast. I got showered and walked over. So simple, right? Done by 1. So even on the road, I'm on the road, but the activities on the road, the meetings on the road, I push to the afternoon. The other aspect, which is awesome, so that makes my mornings a little more sane than most people's. So when I show up in the afternoon, it's one of my secret negotiation tactics. I love to negotiate, build, serve. Because in the afternoon, everyone's tired, you know? And then I show up and they're like, man, that guy's got some energy. I'm like, oh, you started at 9, I started at 1. Okay, sorry.
I love that. That's so important. If you guys are going to be healthy and happy while you do this, that's crucial advice. I want to let you guys ask a few questions. Give me an idea who would have a question, just so I can. All right, perfect. So who's got the first one?
My question is, with doing that much networking, where you're, like, especially in different seasons where you're going to so many events, how do you maintain relationships with like that volume of people and keep them like really relationship-based and not transactional?
So good. Give her an applause. Great question.
So good.
So after an event like this, and I'd meet people, I'd message everybody I met individually, and then I would ask them in an individual email, do you mind if I add you to my group networking list? It's just a group that I send out anyone who I think is awesome, who might want to meet each other, or who might want to ask for resources, or who want to know updates about my life. Great, send that out. And then they're added to the group, which everyone's like, yeah, totally add me to that, it'd be great. So they're added. If they don't, I still have their individual contact. And then every single month, I send out a note to the networking people, an email to the networking people. But it doesn't feel like a newsletter. It doesn't feel like, it's like, hey, here's what's going on, here's what's happening in life, what do you need help with? So I'm always asking them, what do you need help? Those questions I asked you, they're in that group email. So remember, what's the number one thing you're working on? What do you need help with? Who are you trying to meet? So that just goes out every month, every single month. Here's what I did this month. It's kind of like keeping people updated on your family, you know, like you might do around the holidays. I just do that every month. But I ask those 3 questions in that email. Then anyone who I feel like is like a high priority, I keep in touch with them every Friday. So I have a thing called Friday Finishers for those in Growth Day. One of my Friday Finisher lists is my network list. So I just message them, hey, how was your week? And that's it. So you just heard her share it earlier, like, I get these texts from Brendon. He's like, how's it going? What's going on? She was on a Friday Finisher list. She's important in my life, and so she's on the list. And so every Friday, I just have an hour on a Friday. It's one of my Friday Finisher lists. So if you don't know what a Friday Finisher is, you should never get to Friday and not have known what you were going to do, ship, create, build, or contact that week. So that means on Sunday, I outlook to Friday and go, what must ship this week? What has to get done? Like your key priorities, right? But one of those Friday activities is for an hour, is just work in the network. It's just an hour. Work the network. Put it down on your Friday list for 1 hour. And that's all you got. It's time blocked. It's only 1 hour every Friday. And I just work the network. What you working on? How's it going? What you doing? And I'll just sit there for an hour. I send texts mostly, but I'll also send them from my computer. And so sometimes my friends will text back, and then they get this huge, and they're like, man, he's got fast thumbs or something. And it's like I'm sitting at my computer typing back, and just for an hour. That's it. It's very simple. Is that helpful? That's good. Great question. Give a round of applause. Great question. Give a round of applause.
So
That's great.
I'm so excited to share that this podcast is sponsored by The Real Real, the best place to shop authenticated luxury bags, clothing, watches, and so much more. Personally, I love finding unique, elevated pieces that feel like me, and The Real Real is one of my favorite places to discover them. Whether I'm looking for a one-of-a-kind Zimmermann dress or a classic YSL bag, I know I'm getting something super special, and I'm getting it at a great value. The Real Real is attainable luxury that upgrades your personal style. With up to 90% off retail, you can finally have the pieces you've been dreaming of from brands like Gucci, Fendi, Prada, and so many others. Unlike other resale sites, everything The Real Real sells is authenticated in person by luxury and fashion experts. The Real Real is the go-to place for your next special piece. Need a dress for a fancy wedding? The perfect vacation sandals? Ready to invest in a new bag to add to your collection? Find exactly what you're looking for that no one else has at The Real Real. The Real Real is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. With thousands of new arrivals daily, no one does resale like The Real Real. And now get $25 off your first purchase when you go to therealreal.com/happy. That's therealreal.com/happy to get your $25 off. Start shopping now at therealreal.com/happy. So for the past few years, Chris and I have been in a really exciting, busy season of travel, whether it's for the podcast or speaking or meeting with our teams who are all over the country for both of our startups, with all the traveling that we do for work, for holidays, and also having had a lake house for 3 years that we only spent summers in. I often thought that it would be so awesome to have another family enjoy our home while we're away. We've made so many memories in Airbnbs over the years. We love to gather our family and friends together in a home away from home, whether it's for an annual Christmas ski trip that we do, or because we always want to travel back to our family for Easter every single year. And I love the idea of your home getting to be a space where other families get to make lasting memories while you get to make a little extra cash. Did you know Airbnb Airbnb has a co-host network that can take care of all of the details for you. With the co-host network, you can hire a quality local co-host to take care of your home and guests. Experienced co-hosts can support you with everything from creating your listing to managing reservations, messaging guests, and more. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/host.
What time do you get up in the morning, and what do you do to start your day?
So good. I get up 8 hours after I went to bed. Doesn't matter. It's 8 hours. That's the goal. And any non-good sleepers in the room, you're not a good sleeper. You're not. 8 hours is hard for you. I heard the best advice I ever got. Is like, okay, you know what? Just don't get out of bed. You know what the funniest thing is? I did this research. You have to train your body to know that it lies prone for 8 hours. Isn't that crazy? I never knew that. This is like world-class, we're talking about military-grade researchers who, not academics, like military-grade, like train on the hardest of conditions. Your body isn't used to laying down that long. So if I wake up, I lay there and I meditate. I just make myself. I don't scroll. I don't play on the phone. I just lay there. And if I'm laying there, I meditate. If I'm not meditating, I'm visualizing and dreaming and thinking and practicing and rehearsing. But I've taught my body to lay prone. I only share that because that's the answer. When do you wake up? I'm like, sometimes on the road, I might be out till 11:30 with friends. If I'm at home, it's a little earlier, but it's 8 hours. That's the key. So I wake up 8 hours later. First thing I do, I get up, and Wayne Dyer taught me, we toured Europe together, and he taught me this thing. He goes, when he wakes up in the morning, he puts his feet on the ground, and he just says, thank you, thank you, thank you. So he gives thanks first thing in the morning, which I always loved. So I copied that. So I get up, and I get up in the morning, then I do these movements. And then if I'm going to have tea, I'll make tea. If I'm going to have coffee, I'll make coffee. Decaf. Emergency only do I pull the ripcord of caffeine. Imagine me on caffeine. I'm already a little fired up. I'm trying to calm myself down today. So that's it. That's my morning. Then it's go sit, read, journal, plan the day, and then I'm off to the races. If I'm going to work out, I'll do it that moment, but I only work out every other day. Cool?
So good.
I would say my question is on that strategy that you mentioned for the iPhone, what is the actual video? Like, is it a sales video? If you can dive a little bit deeper into that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, great. Okay. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Great question. Y'all don't know how happy that makes me when someone read The Millionaire Messenger. So The Millionaire Messenger was the first book in what we now call the creator economy to become #1 New York Times bestselling book. And remember that I think I wrote it in 2009. I think it came out 10 or 11. And it was just like, no one could believe it. It was just wild. And it was this whole new world. We called it the expert economy back then. Then it became the thought leader economy. Then the influencer economy. Then the creator economy. All the same thing. We make money from our advice and by communicating with people. So this video is what I use in the sales process, the iPhone video. So I'll start with the scene. I'll give you the exact one I did for Ultra. So I was in my studio, and I have it on a little stick. I don't know what you call a little stick thing, but it's literally a $5 Amazon thing that holds my phone. Again, it holds it just like, here's what you want. Not the long selfie stick. You only want it this far. If you hold it with your hand, it's too up in your nostrils. Don't do the handhold thing. Get the little thing. It's like adding 7, 8, 9 inches to your... I like your audience. Okay. My kind of people. Anyway, so I hold the thing up. And what I did is I said, hey guys, I want to show you this thing. I don't think anyone's ever seen this before. And I walk over in my studio and I show my camera. And right beneath my camera, I say, guys, I want you guys to see this. And right beneath my camera is a note from my wife. And it says, I love you. I appreciate you. I know you're doing big things. And I put it under my camera so I always see that. And I'm like, okay, so I can be in a place of love and appreciation for my audience and acknowledging they're doing big things. And then I turned back the camera and I said, and I know you're doing big things in the world. And I appreciate that you're doing it. And I've loved having you part of this group. Now let me share why you should renew. And then I just go into the sales messaging for them to renew. And sales is always the same. You all know how to do sales? On a video? It's the same every time. Ready? I'm going to give you the outline. It's the same as it was in Millionaire Messenger. This same outline has sold $200 million of my stuff on the internet. It's the same every time. Every time you want to sell something, you start with possibility. So describe a scene of possibility. Second, you discuss the problem. What gets in their way of that vision or that promise or that hook? You can call it whatever you want. I just call it a scene of possibility. So possibility, problem. Then expert story positioning, which is your story. Your story of chasing that possibility and overcoming the problems. Then the reveal of your secret, which is now you tell them about the method or the system or the thing that's going to help them achieve the possibility. Then you tell them the benefits and features of that system. Then you give them what's called price juxtaposition. Tell them how much it costs in juxtaposition or comparison to more expensive things. Then you add in a guarantee. Then you add in your bonus stack. Then you give your final offer, call to action. It's always that outline 100% of the time. You know, if you sprinkle in anything, you sprinkle in testimonials. You know, but it was just me on a phone, so I didn't do that. But that's it. That formula works. I don't think you've ever seen a sales video or VSL or anything that didn't follow that to a T, because that's the psychology we need to buy. And so I just walked right through that. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, we've got time for one.
I can do it all day. It's so
I
fun.
know.
Plus, they laughed at the microphone joke. This is amazing.
Question for you is, you were talking about investing, and so there's same question, two buckets. What is your core philosophy and principles in investing in companies, and your core principles and philosophy in investing in people? I would really love to hear how you think and go through that.
Wow, it's so good. Yeah, I invested in Chris's Frello. I always approach investing very, very simply. Can I move the needle in their sales? That's it. And that's the only consideration. Outside of, obviously, I look at it and say, is this something I like? Do I believe it can be viable? Is it a good team? You think of all these things, but if I'm going to put my money in, then it's, can I move the needle in their sales? And will I do it? Two secret questions. Not always the same answer. Can I move the needle in their sales? Can I move their needle in their sales because of my list, my audience, my network, other people I know, the key actors I could get involved in this company? But if I can't move the needle in sales, I promise it's a better investment in the S&P 500, right? When you read every great investor's story, including Warren Buffett's, and they say, what would you tell your kids to do? They all say the same thing. Put it in an index fund. You're not going to beat the S&P or an index fund over a period of time unless you can move the needle for the company. Or you know something of someone who is going to move the needle for the company. You have some kind of knowledge about what's going to go on with the company. That's my only consideration. Otherwise, here's the thing where I hated myself early on when I had all this money and I invested it. I would put it into the company because I know I could move, I can change the sales of this company. But that second question I had to add, will I? Will I have the time to do it? And that one made me really honest. Probably 7, 8 years ago, I was like, wow, I've invested in a lot, but I'm not really helping them because I don't have the time. I spread myself too thin. So I narrowed in, can I move the sales, and will I do it? Everything else is the basics everyone else would ask, right? Good founder, good idea, but everything's a good idea. Pretty much. We could sit together and brainstorm how to make the greatest waffle maker. Let's just think about it. We'd make a great waffle maker. Everyone can make a great waffle maker. How are you going to sell it? So I don't think it's about the ideas. I think it's about the execution of the sales. And so for me, I focus on the sales. Your second question was about investing in people. I think number one thing for me is competency. Do they have the knowledge, skill, ability, talent, and will to go do the thing? And will they go do the thing? And so it's competency first. Because I know a lot of very good people, but they're not competent. But I also know a lot of competent people who don't have the will. They're super smart, but they don't do it. So it's that balance of, yes, of course I want good character. Again, that's the basic. But now I'm like, do they have competency? Are they learning it? Are they going to go do it? Some people you just know they're never going to give up, right? They're going to bulldog that dream. They're going to make it happen. And those people are wonderful, but they can also be assholes. So I want to find the person who's of good character and who is going to do it and do it well with other people. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you. Great question.
So good.
So stay up here one moment. Wow. Lori, would you like to share your takeaway?
Oh, I mean, my biggest takeaway was one that the Fridays. That's so easy, but one of the most, it's one of the ways that I'm like, wow, I've never felt so seen and thought of. And that is like to feel that from your friends and people, like just checking in on you. How are you? What's up? Like, it's the simplest, most beautiful, basic, but doable thing that also probably makes you feel great. So,
I love it. It's my favorite hour.
Yeah, that's my favorite. So I'm adding it to Fridays.
Love it. I love it.
I'll say this. Whether we are on a stage, whether you are on a stage, or whether we're just backstage kind of shooting the shit, you show up as the same person every single time. And that is full of energy and really excited to just give to people. And you energize everybody around you. And for that, I just want to give you a very heartfelt thank you.
I love you, brother. Thank you, man.